Namaste everyone and welcome to Data Millennials. Hey everyone, welcome back to our SQL series. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a database in SQL. But first, we need to know what is database. So a database is an organized collection of structured information or data typically stored electronically in a computer system. It's usually controlled by a database management system, which is also known as DBMS, and together this data and DBMS along with the applications associated with them are referred as database system. So a database is a place where you basically store your tables, procedures, functions, views. Okay, so all the data within the most common type of databases in operation basically in day-to-day life is typically modeled in rows and columns in a series which is known as table in order to make your processing and data querying efficient. So within a particular database you can store multiple table, multiple views, multiple stored procedure. So let me show you what I mean by tables. So currently I am on my MySQL workbench, okay, and we are talking about database. So the first thing is that we have to create a database in which we can store our tables, or we can store our views, stored procedures and functions, right? So how to create a database? Before I create a database, I just want to show you how does it look like. So in this left side you can see these are the database which I have created. So these three database I have created, and these three are by default present in your MySQL workbench. So within your database, as I've told you, you will have tables. As you can see, I've clicked on the drop down of email data, which is my database. There are tables, and if you go on the tables, you will be able to see their attributes, which is column, indexes, foreign keys and triggers. And furthermore down, if you go to columns, you will see all those columns which are present in that table. So for this video we will be focusing on database only. Okay, so once a database is created, then it provides you the functionality to store your tables. Now if I right click on this database, okay, there is multiple options available here. Now if you want to drop this database, see, this database is also known as schema. Okay, so if you want to drop means if you want to delete it, then you can use this one, drop schema. Or if you want to search a particular table within this email data, then you can use this option, search the table. Or if you want to refresh the entire tables which is present in a database, then you can use this refresh all option. Now let's go and create a database. So the first thing is the syntax of creating a database, right? So what we will do is that we will start with the query. So first you need to write create. So as we have to create a database, that's why we would write create database, and then you need to put a name of the database. Okay, so I'll put YouTube example and then a semicolon. Okay, now we had written down the query to create a database. So the first thing is that you need to write create. This gives the command that you will be creating a new database within the schemas. This database is syntax. So what we are asking MySQL workbench is to create a database which name is YouTube example. Okay, now we'll select this entire thing. Or so there are two ways of running this. The first one is that you can select it, then press Control Enter, or you can go at the end of this query, then press Control Enter, or you can select this entire row, and then you see this option here. This is the run option. Okay, so I'll use Control Enter throughout this series. So I have selected this query first, highlighted this query first, and then I'll press Control Enter. Okay, now Once I press Control Enter, what happened exactly is the action. What is the action that MySQL Workbench has taken? The action you can see here, it's the action output. At this time, create database YouTube example, message one row affected. Now, once I have created it, I should have been able to see it within this schema, right? So now I need to refresh this because right now I'm unable to see it. Okay, I can see email data, interview questions, org, and other databases, right? But I have created this database and I'm unable to see it. So what should I do? Here under this navigator, you see this schema, and in the extreme right of this navigator you see this refresh button. Okay, you click on it, and once you click on it, you will be able to see the new database which you have created. So I'll click on it. There you go. You see this YouTube example. This is the database I have created right now. Okay, now within this database currently we don't have any tables. So in order to see the tables and its values, we have to create table, then insert values into it. Okay, so we'll do that in our next video, but first we had created the database, but how will we use it? If you're writing queries for more than 100 line, 200 line, or 300 line, and all your tables are stored in a single database, then you have to write a particular one-liner syntax which says that within this editor I will be using the same database. So whenever I write a table name, just assume that I'm using this database only. So you're telling your workbench to use the particular database when you're writing the query. So in order to do that, what you have to do is that you just need to write use and database name. So I have written use YouTube example, okay, semicolon, and I have highlighted this query and I press Control Enter. Okay, now again you see, before I have ran this query, YouTube example was not highlighted or it was not bold. Currently when I run this query, YouTube example here got bold. This means that within this editor in SQL file 4, whenever I run the query, by default SQL will think that this YouTube example will contain that particular table. So we'll talk about table in our next video. So we have reached at the end of this video. Let me know if you guys have any confusion related to database. Hey, if you find this video insightful, then do check out other videos and hit the like and subscribe button.